Ever thought about how the society we call human civilization began? Buckle up, let's hop on a time machine and zoom back to the land of pharaohs and pyramids, ancient Egypt. Visualize a period about 5,000 years in the past, circling around 3100 BC. Here, a noteworthy event took place, the merging of Upper and Lower Egypt under the command of the initial pharaoh, Narmer. This event marked inception of what we now refer to as ancient Egypt. This period wasn't just about political amalgamation, but also the blooming of culture and wisdom. A major leap was the evolution of hieroglyphics, a comprehensive system of writing that enabled the Egyptians to document their history, faith, and daily routines. How can we overlook the architectural wonders that started to pepper the surroundings? The primitive step pyramids started to ascend, providing the groundwork for what would develop into some of the world's most iconic edifices. As we venture further, the splendor of ancient Egypt appears to escalate, much like the majestic pyramids adorning its landscape. Imagine this: you're in Egypt, and what's the first thing you see? Yep, you guessed it right, the pyramids. Time travel with me to the Old Kingdom era, often called the era of the pyramids. A time when Egypt's desert sands were yet to bear the marks of modernization. This was when the pharaohs of Egypt gave birth to some of the most iconic landmarks in human history. At the heart of architectural revolution, the Great Pyramid of Giza, built under the rule of Pharaoh Khufu, stands tall. This monument, standing an amazing 481 feet high, held the record for the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years. Can you believe that? The Great Pyramid wasn't just a symbol of might, but a testament to the ancient Egyptians' remarkable engineering abilities. But this pyramid wasn't merely an exhibition, it held a spiritual significance. The Egyptians had a strong belief in life after death, and thus the pyramid was a tomb, a grand vessel designed to transport the pharaoh to the afterlife. Inside the pyramid, corridors opened into the king's chamber, decorated with treasures intended to accompany him in the afterlife. Not far from the Great Pyramid, another iconic figure, the Sphinx, stands. With the body of a lion and the head of a man believed by many to be Pharaoh Khufu himself, the Sphinx is a symbol of power and wisdom. It was a celestial observatory, and represented royal authority. These monuments were more than just architectural marvels. They mirrored the society, culture, and beliefs of the Egyptians. They symbolized the divine status of pharaohs and their journey to the afterlife. They represented the power and resources of the state. Today, even after thousands of years, these structures continue to mesmerize us. They ignite our curiosity and stimulate our imagination. They make us ponder about the people who built them, their lives, their beliefs, and their incredible skills. These ancient skyscrapers continue to tower over us, signifying the architectural genius of our ancestors. But hey, Egypt isn't just about pointy buildings. It's a civilization that partied on for centuries. Dive deeper into the Middle Kingdom, a time frame that stretched from 2003 to 1782 BC. This period was a golden age of sorts, where political stability reigned and the arts and literature had a major blowout. The pharaohs of this era were more like the cool older siblings of the people rather than their strict parents. This change in power dynamics led to a more centralized government and a booming economy, which in turn ignited an explosion of creativity in arts, architecture, and literature. The Middle Kingdom was also a time of epic literary. The Tales of Sinuhe, a masterpiece of ancient Egyptian literature, was created during this period. This story, penned in the eloquent Middle Egyptian language, narrates the wild journey of a dude named Sinuhe who ditches Egypt and embarks on a series of escapades. It's a testament to the complexity and depth of thought in this era. As the Middle Kingdom gave way to the New Kingdom around 1550 BC, Egypt threw another party of prosperity and power. The New Kingdom is often referred to as the Empire Age, as Egypt became one of the coolest kids among the world's leading powers. Rocking the boat were badass pharaohs like Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs of Egypt, who expanded Egypt's trade networks and architectural marvels. Then there was Akhenaten, a pharaoh who rocked the religious world by introducing monotheism, worshipping only sun disk, Aten. And of course, who could forget the famous boy king Tutankhamun? His tomb, stuffed with golden goodies, offers a peek into the lavish life and death of a New Kingdom pharaoh. From the political stability and cultural explosion of the Middle Kingdom to the powerful pharaohs and massive empire of the New Kingdom, ancient Egypt was not a one-note civilization. It was dynamic, constantly evolving, and innovating. From kick-ass pharaohs to fascinating art and architecture, ancient Egypt was truly a civilization that knew how to party. Like all epic parties, even the ancient Egyptian civilization had its last call. As the night grew darker, the once vibrant nation's strength started to wane, its power sapped by a series of uninvited guests. The Persians, led by the party crasher Cambyses II, were the first to gate crash, signaling the last dance. But the party didn't stop there. The Greeks, led by the legendary party animal, Alexander the Great, swaggered in next, bringing with them the beats of Hellenistic culture. The home team was outnumbered, and the distinct Egyptian vibe began to fade. The party's last guest was the Romans. Their arrival was a game-changer, turning the lights off for the home team. The swan song was the departure of the last pharaoh, Cleopatra, marking the end of an era, the dawn after a long party night. Though the ancient Egyptian civilization had to call it a night, the memories of its grandeur and its lasting contributions continue to keep us entertained. So, what's the takeaway from our time travel to ancient Egypt? Let's wrap it up. We journeyed back to the dawn of civilization, where ancient Egypt sprouted on the lush banks of the Nile. We stood in awe of the Pyramid Age, those immense symbols of human will and craft. We navigated through the Middle and New Kingdom eras, periods of affluence, cultural progression, and remarkable architectural marvels. And we observed the downfall of ancient Egypt, a society that couldn't stand against the relentless sands of time. Yet even after demise, the influence of ancient Egypt is intricately stitched into the fabric of our modern world. Architectural ideologies are reflected in our city structures, its creativity reverberates in modern, and its literary works ring out in our narratives. The impact of ancient Egypt is persisting in our collective consciousness, a lasting tribute to a society that dared to aim for the cosmos. Even though buried beneath the sands of time, the resonance of ancient Egypt's legacy endures, reminding us of a civilization that once thrived.